Hello, everyone. Father Scott Vanderveer here with a little reflection on discipline. I'll never forget the time that I complimented a priest friend of mine on his incredible gift for remembering parishioners' names. I said to him, "I'm not like you. I don't remember names easily." I watched him as he just knew everybody by name. Hi, Mabel. Hi, John. Hi, Sarah. And I thought, oh man, I struggle. Sometimes there's somebody that I actually know well through a family event, a funeral, a wedding, or something like that. But I can't access their name in the moment that I see them. I said, I wish I had your gift. And he said, thank you, but it's not really a gift. He said, I work so hard at that. And he told me some of the techniques he used to remember people's names. He would immediately, when they would say, hi, I'm Sarah, he would say, smiling Sarah in his head, smiling Sarah, smiling Sarah. He'd be saying it over and over again, smiling Sarah. He'd then spell it in his head, S-A-R-A, S-A-R-A-H, S-A-R-A, S-A-R-A-H. Sometimes if it was a new person, he would say, how do you spell Sarah? And he'd wait for their response, S-A-R-A. Oh, the Jewish spelling, that's wonderful. And then the talking about it would cement that in his mind. Or they might say S-A-R-A-H, and he'll say, oh, one of my best friends growing up was a girl named Sarah. I love that name. So then, at the end of every Mass, he would go home with a little notepad and he would write down the names of the people that he could remember from talking to at the door. I talked to Sarah, I talked to Mabel, I talked to John. Smiling Sarah, mumbling Mabel, jolly John. I'm making this up, but you know what I mean. Then he would return to the list before the next Mass the next week. So he would then look and think, smiling Sarah. He would picture that person in his head. And then when she came back to him, he would say, Sarah, how nice of you to join us again. And she and everyone else would say, what a gift you have for names. This is just amazing. You really remember people's names so well. And he would say, man, if every gift came this hard, can we really call it a gift? It's labor. He said, I don't know if I have any more memory ability for names than anybody else, but I do know I'm one of the ones who works the hardest at it. Once he decided that he wanted to learn names and be good at recalling people's names so that they felt important and noticed and cared about when they came to church, there we were. Once he decided that was important, he made it important, and the rest is the reputation that he has for being amazing with names. By the way, that friend I'm talking about is Father Jim Callan, and he continues to be recovering from oral cancer surgery. So your prayers for him mean the world to him and to me. I was recently in a lecture hall with the great novelist and author of many books, Amy Tan. Do you know that name? She's the one who wrote the book, The Joy Luck Club, back in the 1990s. It was just on the New York Times bestseller list forever. She's one of those household names for people who love that kind of writing. Amy Tan was talking about her new book, The Backyard Bird Chronicles, which I haven't read, but I got to hear her talk about, and it sounds fascinating. It sounds like a really cool nature book. It's about how she spent a year watching the birds in her backyard with incredible focus and attention and intention. Throughout this book, The Backyard Bird Chronicles, there are gorgeous illustrations of all different kinds of birds from her region of the country, which is Northern California. The illustrations were amazing, and I was curious, who's the artist who made these? And during her lecture, I discovered the artist who did the illustrations for that book was Amy Tan herself. And I thought, I didn't know she was an artist. And she said, I didn't know I was an artist either. I did not draw these pictures because I have some innate artistic ability. She said, I was not able to create this book by being a tremendous artist, someone with incredible natural gifts. She said, I did it by logging pencil miles. That's what she called them. She said she watched some online drawing tutorials that are available for free online. And I'll leave the name of that tutorial in the show notes here. And she said that by taking this online class that was very affordable and logging hours and hours and hours of drawing practice, by having miles and miles of pencil sketches, like strokes, she would do the same stroke again and again and again, as if she were someone preparing to do a balance beam act in the Olympics. She just spent hours and hours learning how to master the strokes that can then be put together to create a natural wildlife drawing, like the drawings of the birds that make up her book. If you could see these drawings, you would be amazed. And you can, because of course the book is available wherever books are sold. If you see these, you're going to think that Amy Tan is a savant in art, that she has incredible innate ability, an almost superhuman way of drawing something that makes an animal come to life in paper, right off the page, right in your face. And she would say, talent is not even part of it at all. Maybe if we consider having an ability to discipline ourselves as a talent, then I think she would accept the compliment that she is talented. But otherwise, her attitude is, her drawing is something she committed to and then got good at by logging pencil miles and hundreds of hours of practice. Father Jim is excellent at remembering people's names, but not because he has a great memory, because he has the discipline to work at something that really matters to him. What do you find yourself thinking about when I say this? Is there a foreign language that you've never fully mastered because maybe you haven't given yourself the kind of time that you'd like to give toward that aim? Have you ever wanted to learn an instrument or become proficient at a sport? Would you like to be someone who can play pickleball or tennis, but you would need to take lessons first? Have you ever thought about running in a 5K race, but it feels daunting and overwhelming? I think all of us can imagine that to try to do everything well is a form of over-functioning that's not good for any of us. But it's also good for us to have an area that we really have worked to become competent in and really strong in. There's something good for the soul about pushing ourselves to master something that we really care about. I think that's something for us to all consider when we think about discipline as part of human living. How can we focus our energies with self-discipline towards something that will really help us become a better version of ourselves? How can we come closer to reaching our full potential? Some good questions for us to ask ourselves anytime. Thank you for joining me in this inquiry, and may you pick something that you'd like to master and stick yourself to it like glue and allow yourself to feel the satisfaction of getting better at something that you really care about by putting discipline to work for you. May God bless you all.